Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with a blog to watch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of the Jaeger-LeCoultre Amvox 7. This is the 7th watch that Jaeger-LeCoultre has produced in collaboration with Aston Martin cars. And this is a pretty cool one. So this, I believe the Amvox 7 originally came out in 2012. They don't release or make that many Amvox models. It's definitely a more niche thing, but it does represent some of Jaeger-LeCoultre's more futuristic sport watches that I would put in the same category as like the Extreme Labs and some of those pieces like that. These are some of my favorite watches from the brand. You know, these are very different, very niche. They're very cool. They're very meticulous and elaborately designed. They're just like they couldn't be more different than the brand's more elegant traditional fare. But you know, listen, I mean, I'm a guy that likes technology and I'm a guy that likes modern things. So for me, this is right up my alley. One of the things that you have to know about these watches is that they're kind of like these sandboxes, these experiment territories to do kind of weird stuff, and some of them have or have had complications that may have not made sense or have been experimental or just sort of like hey, let's try this. So for example, the very first Amvox watch was called the Transponder, and I believe if you had a DBS, which is one of the automobile models, you could lock and unlock the car with the watch. So you'd sync up the watch to the car, but it would only work with that one car, the DBS. And then I think it was actually earlier this year in 2014 that Jaeger-LeCoultre came out with another Amvox watch that was a new transponder that worked with more of the cars. So again, kind of a funky complication. This watch has a couple of interesting complications on it. One of them is this power reserve indicator. I think it's really, really cool. There's these two red bars here, and as you wind the watch, they fill up towards the center there. You see how they sort of go together there? That's really cool. Does there have to be two? No, but it's just a neat way of being able to indicate the power reserve. I forget exactly what the power reserve amount is for this watch. I want to say it's several days. Maybe does it say on there? No, it just says half. The text on here is really small, and like I can see it well, but some of the people I know that it's more difficult for them to see. They would no way be able to read the small things in here. A good example is where it says Aston Martin. Can you see where on the dial it says Aston Martin? I think it says on the back. It does say it on the back there, but it also says on the dial. Well, if it's hard for you to see, it's okay. It's right here between 2 and 3 o'clock, kind of this like lighter gray on gray. And if you look very, very closely, it does in fact say Aston Martin. So again, like I think that if this was in a CAD drawing and somebody was looking on a computer screen, yeah, it'd look great. But in reality, it's just tiny. But that's okay. That's one of the less important details. So what else does this watch do? So it has an in-house made movement. I believe it's caliber 756. Oh, it's 65 hours of power reserve, so it is a couple days. And it has a chronograph, but again, one of those interesting features is the chronograph is not operated by pushers. You see there's no pushers there. The way the chronograph in the Amvox 7 is powered is by the crystal itself. So you actually push down on the top here and then push on the lower part to reset it. So I'm pushing down at the top. You can see that started the chronograph. These subdials here are the chronograph counters. So you have one for the minutes and one for the hours here. The funny thing about this watch, kind of the irony, is Jaeger-LeCoultre went out of their way to create this very sort of crazy, innovative way of starting and stopping the chronograph, presumably to make it easier, right? But reading it with these little discs is actually kind of harder. My favorite chronograph that they created was the one on the Extreme Lab 2, which is a mechanical digital counter for the minutes, and it's really, really fantastic. You have a date indicator window there as well. The dial's cool. It's very precision cut. It's very modern. There's the lume is blue, and the hands are relatively easy to see. I wouldn't say it's the most legible watch that Jaeger-LeCoultre makes, but it's not bad at all. So I'll show you. I can go ahead and stop the chronograph or start it again. I just sort of want to show you here how that disc moves there. It's kind of a nice little action it's got going on. If you can see it. Did it move? I think it did move. Yeah, it did move. It went from 0 to 1. and then you have to wait again. But let's see how you can reset it. You push the bottom there, it all resets. And there's a little switch here on the side where you can lock it. So if you want to lock everything, you can go to here, and then you cannot push the chronograph if you don't want to. So that's a cool thing. Another good feature about this watch is there's a quick release for the straps. So you see right here, you push this in, and what you can go ahead and do is it just sort of unlocks the spring bar there, and then if you push it back in, you can go ahead and reconnect it. So that is really simple. I didn't even do both pins. There we go. So that was really simple. So if you have different straps, you can swap them out really, really easily. So let me finally put this watch on. The case is, I forget how big it is. I want to say it's about 44 millimeters wide. Yeah, I think it's 44 millimeters wide in titanium, and it feels really light. This is a really comfortable watch. And I like that there's just a lot of interesting designs. Even the strap, you can see some of the detailing here. It's just interesting. It's just interesting what they did with the Amvox collection. And if you sort of see them, you think maybe they're a little bit gimmicky, but there's just a lot of great detailing that goes on that makes them interesting. And again, a lot of the elements of this watch, it's like a toy. Does this thing do anything particularly innovative? No, but they are celebrating mechanical objects. It's kind of the fun of the complexity of the detailing. If you sit there and you think to yourself, I'm buying an expensive watch, I want to look intricate, that's something you can get with a Jaeger-LeCoultre sport watch, especially something in the Amvox collection. So again, this is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Amvox 7. This is the version in titanium. There's also, I believe, a gold version, but I'm not sure exactly what gold is. I'm guessing it's rose gold or red gold, something like that. Price for this version of the Amvox 7 in titanium is $26,000, which actually is less than you think it could be. You'd think that they could go a lot higher than that, but this is $26,000, and you can see the full review on a Blog to Watch soon. Thanks.